Checking back in from sunny Arizona. Today it's a day after it just rained, so I want to see what this Arizona State Land Trust land looks like, you know, after a little bit of rain. Now, it wasn't like monsoon downpour, but I've never really seen rain in Arizona since I've been here, which has been about 2 months. I'm originally from the East Coast, so it's been wild being in the desert too, but I just want to see, you know, we're going to do this Arizona State Land Trust trail all the way up to where it connects to the Tonto National Forest. And then there's another trail, Shoemaker Spring, that this enters that trail about 1/3 of the way up that trail. But my game plan is to go down the trail to the beginning and then do the full Shoemaker Spring trail. So it's not a super long trail, and I don't really know what to expect, but for this, we're gonna definitely do I've got my tool bag full of tools. There's a ton of stuff in there. What I've got here is, these are in this nice little bag, some air down valves, and these are manual and they seem to work great. I mean, it's pretty impressive how they operate and how they work. So I just pop off one of the valve covers, put it in your pocket, guaranteed to lose that in 2 seconds if I don't. And then that thing's gonna stop. It's a little bit loud. That thing's gonna stop when it gets down to my desired tire pressure, which is pretty awesome. So I'm gonna air down all 4 of these, and then we'll check on the computer in there. All right, here we go on this trail. I've aired down to about 20 PSI, and I'm giving it a chance to settle here a little bit before I check in, because it's showing the passenger side front tire as being a little bit higher up than I thought it should be. But we're just going to take a look, see what happens here. You know, I may stop and let a little more air out of that passenger side front tire, but we'll just see how that goes. But this is a pretty incredible trail, and I really like it a lot. It's not too difficult, and you know, I mean, a lot of it could probably seriously be done in 2-wheel drive, and I'm in 2-wheel drive still right now. But you know, eventually when we get over to Shoemaker, I'm gonna flip it into 4 low, which is what I typically always use, because you essentially have access to all of your 4 high lower gears, plus some gearing at a lower range, which is the whole idea of 4. Here's a mistake I make all the time on this trail in the very beginning. Instinctively, the trail makes you want to go to the left. Like, it seems like all the trail information as far as the landscape says go left, but really you want to go to the right up here. It's just a little thing, and it's kind of right at the beginning of the trail. Like, even when you look here on X, you know, you've got this little intersection. You just need to make sure to go to the right for the access trail to take you into Tonto National. Also, here's another thing. Here's a view of the tire pressures, and I'd set everything at 20 because that's where I'm happy at with it for now. If I wanted to go a little bit lower, I will, but you know, I've got 33-inch tires, so I think going lower than 15 might get a little dangerous, especially if you're on your own, you don't have a lot of support or whatever. But they're all within, I mean, you know, 20 and 21, that's to me the same. So, but I did have to let it settle because it was showing like 19 and 27 here. So I was like, I'm just going to drive on it for a few minutes, see what the monitor says, and then kind of take it from there. So it just is something that I do as a practice. Like, I trust the equipment, and then, you know, the gauge or the monitor and stuff, I give that a little bit of a chance to settle down and catch up and stuff. So just some food for thought. And getting into a little bumpy section here, but I'm still in two-wheel drive. We're gonna play the two-wheel drive game for a little while, see what happens. And then, you know, I know I'm gonna have to get into four-wheel at some point, but I'm just kind of cruising along. Other than a few little mini rock piles, this trail I think is pretty smooth. So we'll see what happens though. So like coming through here where normally I'd be in like second gear or something in 4 high, I'm in like 5th gear and 4 low, now 6th, which I like very much. I want to make use of this, you know, 8-speed transmission. I think the JK that I used to have might have had 5 or 6 gears, so you wouldn't even think of just utilizing 4 low unless it was like super duper hairy, right? And then you kind of are stuck with shifting up and down. Like here, this is a little bit of a hill. I'm going into 4 low 2nd gear, and I'm just going to punch it up this hill. And with Off-Road Plus and everything, I really don't need anything, you know, like I just don't need lockers on, nothing. And you know, it's not even, the situation might not even call for lockers particularly, but like it's just different, you know, like these JLs have an expanded capacity in my opinion. I mean, just the additional gears, having, you know, 8 gears to choose from, that's a pretty big benefit. It really is. Now going down this, I'm in 4.2. I'm going real slow, and I am applying some brake pressure, but it's not one of those things where I'm really riding the brakes. It's just like one of those mini assists that you do every once in a while, or like when you just do a little bit of feathering. Sure, this is like a trail best suited for like razors and stuff, because it really is. It's pretty skinny, but totally doable with this thing. Just a little tighter than, because even looking at the tracks through here, my wheels and tires are wider than what it's looking like the aggregate average tire track. That's fine. I am definitely coming back to this place though. We're getting pretty close to the connection with Shoemaker. Couple more turns and we'll be there. I'm gonna go slow through here because I see there's a rock up here that I definitely see some differential marks on. We're down in a mini wash here. I don't see any evidence from the rain yesterday down here, so this is a pretty decent rock pile here. I'm just going to roll through here. But at the same time, take it kind of easy, you know. These rocks are rolling and they're not like hard implanted, so if I do get a hit somewhere, it'll at least kind of move the rock instead of, you know, removing parts of the Jeep. I'm just trying to keep the big ones as I head into them in between the front diff and rear diff, and just make good choices some of the time. I connected with a rock back there a little ways for sure. Yeah, right around this next corner should be and this is me, I'm not even on my brakes, I'm just in 4-1. And then I release it out into 4-2, come up out of there. That's about it. This rock kind of sucks right here. Just see what happens as I go through, because that rock's definitely big enough to catch a diff if you put it in the right spot. So we've gotten ourselves to the point where we are right here on Onyx, right at where Shoemaker Spring Trail meets that Arizona State Land Trust access point.